Hello guys, welcome to another video tutorial by Nocode Africa, and in this tutorial we're going to continue working on our food delivery application. Alright, so if at all this is like the very first time that you're seeing the food delivery application on this channel, I want to let you know that we have 3 parts before this, so you can just check under the description of this video and then you will see the part 1, part 2 and part 3. This is the part 4, and in the part 4 we are going to design a couple of screens, and then we're going to start backend for it. I'm very sure that you're excited to hear that. Yes, so we're going to start backend for this and it will be really fun. So let's get right to it. Okay, so this is where we have the project, and it's built inside FlutterFlow. And what we're going to do quickly here is I've already created a new screen here called Seller Dashboard Home. And just basically copying the title on the screen here, like title here, and then just pasting that. So I'm very big on reusing things, reusing components that I already created. So this particular section here is already found somewhere else in the application, and I think it's found in the home v2. So we have something like that here. So I will just click on this and copy it, Ctrl C, and go to Seller Dashboard Home. All right, so then I will just go ahead and drag my widget tree, click on the column and paste it. All right, so I have this now, and let's go ahead and look at it again. So we have just a picture here. I think this is going to be the picture of the user. So we will just go ahead and click on this. It's a stack, right? And we're just going to take some things out. So we're going to take this out, and we're going to take this is just a pure image. Okay, so I will take this out too, and I think I would just really take the stack out. So inside this row I will add a circle image. So I'll add something called circle image, and the size of the circle image is going to be, I'm gonna click on this, is 45 by 45, so it's basically a diameter, so 45. And I don't have a picture here, so just so that I can be seeing what I'm doing, so I'll say image placeholder. So I'll just no, let's say profile picture placeholder. Good. So profile picture placeholder. So I will just look for a random picture placeholder that I can use. I think this might just work. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy the image address, and then I will go to my application and I will just paste it here. Okay, great. So now this is showing, it's not really showing the way I wanted to show, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and let's give some padding to this. Yeah, so let's go to inspect, and then we hover a bit, and I think with this we can see it. So it is 93.25, so we would just say 93.3, right? So this is a lot. I think we have not factored in the correct spacing inside here, so I will just kill this a bit to maybe 85. All right, and that's still a lot because I think this is way bigger. So let's kill this to, let's start with 50. Okay, and it's not, let's say 60, and I think this is pretty okay. All right, so I really think I should get another picture. Let me see if I can quickly get something else. I think I like this one. It says I'll just copy this, come here, click on it, and paste it. Okay, pretty good. This looks now better than the other one. All right, so let's just go ahead and then continue. Here we have a row. This is a row, and we have 2 cards, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna memorize some things, and oh, these things they are in fractions, so let me not memorize. I will go ahead and just put a row inside here, and inside the row I'm going to put a container, and that container size is 156. I'll just approximate it, 157 by 115. Okay, 157 by 115. Okay, great. And then it has a border radius of 20 pixel, and okay, so that's it. So we have a border radius of 20 pixel, and inside here we have this text. This text is 700 by 50. Why do we have all of these things in fractions? So 700 by 52. Okay, great. So I'm gonna put a column inside this because we have look at it, we have these here and then we have these, so that means this is stacked on top of themselves. That means that there's a column here, so I will put a column there, and inside there I will just put a row. I like to put things in a row, and then I will put a text inside here, and then that text is gonna be 20, and it is 700 by, was it 23? Let's look at it again. 700 by 52. Okay, quite big. So let's say 52. Great. So we have 52 here, and I will click on the column again. Let me give this column some padding from the left. So here we have 16. So I'll give the column some padding on the left. It says 16 here. And then I will go ahead and then just click on this, add a row. I'm going to add a row here. Inside the row, I'm going to add a text. And this is a text. This text is running others. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 700 by 13, and there's a color here. So okay, fine. So I will paste this first, and then I'll come here and say 700 by 13. Great. Then I'll go back and copy the color. Just click that, and then I will paste it here in the text color. Great. So we have that scenario there, and then good. We need to go ahead and do some spacing here. So these and these have a spacing of roughly about 3 pixels, so we will say 3 here, and then I think that's all there. This particular one has some spacing on top, so 15. It's just I'm approximating things because it's having, like, you know, they're like in doubles. So that was what? That was 15. So this is now going to be 15. And right, so we have this. What we need to do now is go ahead, click on the container. We need to give it some padding. So this is the container. The padding is 24, and we will say here 24 pixels. And then the next thing we need to do is give the padding to this row so that we can push it away from this, and this is 24 as well. And so we have 24 here. Great. So now we have this. Let's click on the container itself, Control D to duplicate it. Well, we might not really need to do that, right? So let's just say okay, yeah, we have to do that. Fine. And let's look at it. The spacing between them is 13. Okay, so let's just click on this particular container and say here 13. So if that's the case, we don't need to give a padding to these. We can just say well, you can do it like that if you want to be so precise, or you can just remove it and click on this and say center align. Right, so I think center aligning it is almost way better. Okay, so now we have that, and then this is 05, so we just say 05. Oh, sorry, we say 05, and then this one says other request, so I'll copy it, and then I will come here, click on this, and I will paste it. Good stuff. All right, so now we have these card here, so we will just do some few details inside here. And let's go ahead and this is going to be 327 by 204. It's a card. So we click on the column itself, and then this is the column. No, not that column. This one. Then we click on it, and we will add a row. And then inside the row, all right, let's look at our row. Inside the row, we're going to add a container. And the container's width is 327, and the height is 204. Okay, so we have here 204, and it has a border radius of, does it have a border radius? It definitely does, but Figma is not showing it well, so I have to double click, and then I now see 20 pixels. So good. So I have here 20 pixels, and then I can click on the row and center align it, and then I need to push it away from the top, and the spacing is 16.8. that's the padding. So here I say 16.8, and that's good. We have this scenario here, and now we need to put this. So basically what is happening here is that there's a long row, and then this is in a column, right? This is just on its own, right, in that row, and then this is also. So we'll just create this. We'll keep a space for the graph, and yeah, then we continue. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna copy this. Total revenue, it's 400 by 14 pixels. So I will click on this. So now, first of all, look at everything is stacked on top of themselves. The row is on top of this graph, so it's in a column. So we will go ahead and then click on this and add a column inside the container, and then we will go ahead and add a row inside that column, and then we will go ahead and add a column inside that row. Now what is that column? The column is just to make place for this particular scenario here. So we add that, and then we click here and add a row inside it, and then inside the row we will add a text. So now let me paste the text I had copied. It's basically 14 by 400 by 14, and that's okay. And then here I will just go ahead and click on this row and duplicate it, and I'm going to copy this particular detail, Control C, and it's 700 by 22 pixels. So I will come here, then paste the information I copied, and then I will say 700 by 22 pixels, and there you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the column, do my alignment to the start position, and I will give some padding to the column here. So look at the spacing, is 16 pixels from the left, so I'm gonna say 16 pixels from the left. I need to give it some padding from the top as well. It's 13. I'm just gonna take the approximate value, so here I'll say 13. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, so I think instead of giving it to this column, I mean the padding on the top, Control Z to undo that, I will give it to the row. All right, so that everything can have that padding on the top. Good stuff, quite brilliant. All right, so now we have these you know, drop down. We have a drop down, so there's a drop down here already, so I can just come over here and I zoomed that way out. Okay, I was thinking that this is Figma, so I was trying to zoom it in. So this is the drop down. I will just Control C it, that's to copy it, and then I will paste it here, and then I will go ahead and let's see, I will go ahead and yeah, let's zoom this in here. This one allows us to zoom in. So this is says daily. Let me copy this, and it's 400 by 12. So let's come here and say daily. Where is it? So here we have daily, and it's 400 by 12. Okay, so then we have the width of this drop down. It's quite too much. So let's see, it says here 61, so it's just, let's just say 62 by 26. 62, so let's say 62. All right, that works. 26, so 26. And then let's see, there's a fill color. Let's just clear the fill color. We cleared. And then the border color, let's go here and copy the border color. This is the border color, and it has a border. The border radius is 7. Let's just say 7. Good. So we will try to do that. So this is the border radius 7, and we will say the fill color here, we paste it, and then we have that. Okay, so now we have our stuff like this. So but it's not properly arranged. I need some padding under the text. So I will say, let me come here and click on this, go to inspect, and it says here 7. So let's say let me put 7 here. All right, so it works, but I need to increase this to say 65. No, let's just say 70. Okay, so this is pretty good now. Now let me click on the drop down itself and give it some padding away. So this is 26 pixel. I'm using approximate values, so I will say 26 pixel, pushed away, and then let's go ahead and add something here. So what we're adding here is a text, and what does the text say? The text says see details, and it is 400 by 14, perfect. And then I paste it here. I will go ahead and copy the color, and I will go ahead and paste the color here in the text color position. And then I will go ahead and then click on underline, and I will look at the spacing. It's 48 pixel, so I don't think that's gonna really be 48. So let's just say 20, and 20 didn't work. Let's say 30. So pretty much it. So I think we will go with these, and all right, so if you observe, everything is like, you know, pushed to the top. So I think we will have to go ahead and then click on our row and then do something like this. Great. Okay, so now we have this exact arrangement. So here is supposed to be for our graph. We will not do that like right now. we would just go ahead and then do the second part, which is this part. So this is a card again. Well, lots of cards. So let's go ahead and click on this. Or can we reuse what we have here? I think so. Yes, I think we can reuse this. Control D to duplicate what we have here, and then here, let's come over here. Let's click on the card and reduce the size of the card. So the card here is 327 by 94. Okay, so we say 327 by 94. Good stuff. And then this everything here is just in a row, so we will go ahead and maybe remove this guy. So let's click on this and take it off. Good. Although this is in a column, but it doesn't really affect anything. So we can just take off the drop down. Perfect. Then we'll click on this row and then use these arrangement. And then I will click on this see details, and then I will say, I will look at the space it has on the side. So it says 16. So I will give this guy a padding of 16 on the right, and then things looks a little better now. Okay, so I think they're almost the same thing. So 13. Okay, pretty good. So I will just copy this and click here and paste it here, and then click on this. I will just take off the padding here from the left, and it's not see details, it's see all reviews. So I will come here, click on this, paste it. All right, so we have this, and what we need to do is this particular part now. So let's see. Good. Let's go ahead and just no, let's not duplicate. Let's just go ahead and add a real row, another row, and then let's come here and add an icon. So we add an icon, and the icon is gonna be a star. So I click here and search for a star, and I pick this star. Look at the size of the star. It's 26. All right, let me copy these as ones. This is 700 by 21, so 26. So let's just say 26, and let me click here. I don't like this star. No, not like I like the star, but I think it should be a field star. So it's a star that has a field color. So I don't know. I think let's go with this one. Pretty good star. So let's go ahead and add a text here, and then the text is going to be something that I had copied earlier. This is going to be 700 by 21. Let me copy this orange color, 700 by 21. Let's go ahead and just say 21 here, click on this and say 700, and then just paste the color here and click on this, give the star a color. Why not? Stars should have colors. And then let's go ahead and then click on this. The space between them is like 3.3 pixels. So we will come here, give a padding of 3 pixels here, click on this, add a text. I'm gonna add a text here, and then let's just go ahead and add something here. So this is what we're adding here. Okay, great. So total that, and then what else? So let's go ahead and see the space in between. Maybe 6, not yeah, let's just say 6. Total reviews. Let's click on this and give it some padding. So the padding here, let's use this one. It's 28. Okay, yeah, good. I'm just using the approximate values. Okay, so this is it. Let's give some padding to D star. I think it should be 16. Great. What, 16? Let me check. Yes, it's 16. It just looks a little bit different. Okay, so 16, and then we have that. Okay, so we are good with that. And then now we have to do a couple of other things. Now let's look at it. So we have a carousel here. I think this should be a carousel, right? It looks like a carousel because this is cut at some point. So what I want us to do is, let's just go find a carousel to copy. But before we do that, let's just take a look at the card. The card is 327 by 220, right? So let's go ahead and then let's just copy this, Control C, and paste this here. And let's remove this row. Okay, good. So and then let's click on the card itself. Let's look at the container, 327 by 220. Good stuff. And then we will go ahead and let's add what is here. So this is a row. Let me just copy this one. So I'll just copy this one, click on this and paste it. So I'm trying to see how we can, do stuff really fast here. So I'll just copy this and I will go ahead and paste it here. You see how I'm reusing components? I think that's how you should be reusing components too. It makes you work like way faster. So we have this, and the next thing we need to do is put the carousel. So the carousel, it's pretty cool, right? But I can't really see what is under there. Oh, should we just redo it? Okay, yes, let's do it. So first of all, let's look at the height of the container. The height of the container is 150 by 53. Just 150, right? No, the width is 150, height is 153. So we need the height. So I'm gonna click on this and add a container. So there's a container here, and the container is the width is okay. We will figure that out. Let's say 153. Then the width is going to be from here to here. So let me see. Okay, so I will say infinite, right? So I will say infinite width, and I will give it some padding on the left. So 16 by 16, yes. So I will just say 16 here, and I will say 16 here. Okay, so everybody goes home. All right, so this is a container. I will clear the color of this container, just clear the color of the container, and then I will go ahead and add another container inside this. I will show you why we're doing this. This is basically how to create a carousel using a list view. So click on the container here. The container is going to be this one now. Let me just copy this. So 150 by 153, 18 radius pixel. 18 pixel for the radius. Okay, so let's say here 18, and the fill color pasted, and 150 by 153, so 150 by 153. Okay, so well, it's not really doing what I wanted to do. Like, it's not giving me the correct scenario here. So what I just need to do now is, inside this container, I'm just going to wrap it with a column, which now makes it give me the exact dimension I needed. And then what I need to now do is I will go ahead and let's see, this is a container, and I need to go ahead and then put this up, right? So like put another one here. So this is a column, and let's just wrap this column in a row, right? So let's wrap the column in a row. Okay, so now it fits in the way I want it to fit in. So I will click on this column. This column now is like representing one card. So I will say Control D to duplicate it. So this is another card now, and I will go ahead and say the spacing in between them is 11, and I will say 11 here. Okay, so now we have this. Of course, now it looks like what we have been building. So we will click on this big row, yeah, the big row here, and find the distance from the top. So this distance here is 14 pixel, and I will say 14 pixel. And now we're going to wrap this row in a list view. So wrap this row in a list view and say horizontal. All right, so we have created a carousel now, and we can just go ahead and let's scroll down a bit. Let me open this row. And let me click on this one again and duplicate it, so you can see like 3 rows. Okay, so now we have done this, and it feels like there should be something below, but let me see. This container is not giving me what I want. It's not allowing me to see all of this. So let's see, what is the size of these cards? 153. This one is 1 so why am I not seeing everything? Why something is covering it? Okay, so we will try to correct that maybe towards the end. Okay, anyways, okay, so we have that, and this is the navigation, right? So we can just quickly like do the navigation here. Yeah, so this is not a custom, it's not like this particular type of navigation. It's a custom navigation. How do you create that? You're going to let's go ahead and click on this column, and then go ahead and just cover it. Let's make this column scrollable. Yeah, so we can scroll it if we want to. And then now we're going to add in this seller's dashboard, we're going to click on the scaffold itself because we want these to be fixed. It shouldn't be as you're scrolling this one scrolls too. We just want this to be fixed. So you come here and then you click just add a row. Oh, let's say wrap in a column. Okay, yes, we need to wrap it in a column. But I would prefer we wrap it in the stock. So now we are wrapping these things in a stack. This is the first column, and then this is this other one. So we will go ahead and add a container inside here, and then in the container, so we are going to say 375 by 89. So this is gonna be 375. So 375 by 89. It has a border radius. Let me click it again. It's not showing me the border radius, but I think it's going to be a similar border radius like this, maybe 20 pixel. So I don't think it's steeper than that. So let's go ahead and download these icons. So let's download these, export it, and export that. And I think we can just well, I want to use a direct replica of everything here, so I'll just export these as well. Then these okay, so I will do something lazy here. I will just go ahead and export this. We can just recreate it using the widget inside FlutterFlow, but I'm just going to use it as an image. But it's not a good practice because it will make your application heavy. All right, but let's just do it. I'm trying to see how we can speed up so we can do backend quickly. Just basic padded backend, then we continue in the next one. So let's see what we're going to do here. We're just going to go ahead and let's see, this is 25 by 24. So let's come over here, and this is gonna be a border of 20. So inside this we're going to put a row, and inside this row we're going to put an image, and then that image is 25 by 24, and we change from network to assets, click on this, and we go to get the picture. So we click here, we get it, and you will see it here. Let's give it some spacing. It's let's go to inspect. It's 32 on the left, so we will add here 32 on the left. Then we will go ahead and what else? So we will just duplicate this, Ctrl D and Ctrl D again, and I think everything is like an image. So now we come here to this one. This one is going to be 25 by 24 as well. Then this one is 57 by 57. So let's come here and say 57 by 57, and let's click on this and get the image. So I click on this and get the image. The image is going to be this one. Then after that I will wait, then I will click on this, get this particular one, and I think no, yeah, get this one, or upload the image. Then I need to get this one now. So I think this is going to be the bell, right? So the bell should be the same thing. Yes. Okay, so that means we need to duplicate it. Ctrl D, and let's go ahead and get the bell. So where's the bell? This is the bell, and let's get the last one. Let's get this last one here, and here you go. Okay, so now we have this. I don't pretty much like it the way it is, so I just need to center align it, then click on this and remove the padding I gave it before. So just take it out. All right, so now it's on top here. This is not where we want it to be, right? We want it to be below, like down here. So we need to go ahead and then find its position. Let's go ahead and do like this. Click on this, stick your hands up, and then you see 723. So we will come here and giving a padding at the top, 723. And so here you go, we have our navigation here in the footer. Okay, so we will go ahead and then like redo these and like make it really work out very fine, but now we're just going to leave this page the way it is. Let's go ahead and start some backend before we now go ahead and then continue with some front end. Okay, so let's go to, we will implement some things and retweak as we go. Okay, so here we have a okay, good. I think this is how this thing should be. So here we have some pages. there is a splash screen. There's a splash here, so they're like different splashes. Oh, this is another one. So I don't know, we can't have like two splashes. Anyways, if we can, why not? But I think we're just gonna have to choose one. So I will choose this one, right? So yeah, I will choose this one. So let's go to the scaffold of the splash screen. So I'm clicking this. We're starting backend. I want to go ahead and just add some sort of wait delay. I want to add some sort of wait delay before this particular part. So we're going to go to this. We want to add some sort of wait delay. So when the user gets access to the application, they will see this first, then they wait for a couple of seconds, maybe 4 seconds or 3 seconds, all right, and then they will be ushered to the next screen. Because look at this. So I think it should be after these. We can even make it more interesting. After these, then you see these, then we go through this process. So let's go ahead and say, let's start with the first one then. So we will go ahead, and for you to do add the wait delay and make it like that, you have to add it on the scaffold. So we come here to add actions, add an action, and say wait delay. So we will say wait delay. We want to just make it 2 seconds, all right? So 2 seconds is the wait delay for here. And then we need to go ahead and do something else. So after waiting for 2 seconds, what happened? Let's click on action flow editor and add another action that says navigate to splash screen 2. All right, so let's just give it a transition type of fade and say 500 milliseconds, and that's it. So good stuff. So after that, it's going to come here. So after here, we're going to do the same thing. So splash screen, where do we want the user to go to? We want the user to go to the sign up. So after here, so you go to the sign up. Okay, no, not sign up. We want you to go through the onboarding processes. So let's say onboarding. So onboarding 1. After these, so you go to, let's add an action. It says wait delay. Wait another 2 seconds. Yes, why not? It's our app. We can do anything we want to do with it. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's go ahead and just add navigate to onboarding 1 and default transition. Like no, transition is fade, and then we say 500 milliseconds. So it's now going to go to the onboarding 1. So it's going to come here, all right? So then onboarding 2, then onboarding 3, then onboarding 4. So but actually this is all of this is supposed to be one screen. I said we were going to edit this, so let's just say onboarding, then after that we will just say skip. Okay, so let's go ahead and say it comes here to onboarding, and what else? So we will just, this will be slidable, yeah, so we will rework on that. And then let's say skip, no, let's just say next, or yeah. So when you click on next, we can change this to whatever it is. We want you to go to sign up. So next, maybe we'll just change this to maybe start now. Okay, so I will adjust some things. So let's say start now. Okay, so we will just go ahead and say this is start now, and this is going to take us to their sign up page. So navigate to sign up. Now sign up, hold on guys. So we have a sign up that is let me show you what is happening. So we have a, this is a login empty bottom sheet, then we have sign up. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, great. So let's go ahead, let's continue. All right, so onboarding, when they click on this, it takes them to sign up. All right, so good, sign up. And this is just gonna be fade and 500 milliseconds. Then now let's go to sign up. Now look at how our sign up is. So I think this is just how the designer made it. So if you come to the sign up part, this is how it looks like. So now I don't know if it was done on purpose, if this was supposed to just be embedded in the page or not. But the way I designed this, I designed this as a bottom sheet. which is cool, I think. So so we will, when the user gets here, let's add a wait delay, just a little short wait delay here that is like 500, so they might not even notice it. All right, so but we will add a wait delay here on the scaffold, don't forget. So wait delay, we're adding it on the scaffold. It's very short, it's 500 milliseconds. And after that, what do we want? We want a pop-up on this page. So what is a pop-up? A bottom sheet. So we will say bottom sheet. So we wanted to show a bottom sheet. What kind of bottom sheet? So we select the component, we say sign up bottom sheets. All right, the height, well, I don't know how tall is the bottom sheet, so it says a 5 cm, so let's just say 600 or 700. So 700 is the height. Okay, good. So we have this, and then I think we're going to, yeah, so then at this point we're just going to go ahead and let's do the same thing to okay, hold on, before we go too fast, let's go to sign up button sheets, which is this. All right, so it brings us here, and then this is sign up button sheets, and okay, this is how it looks like. Hold on, let's think. So now let's go ahead and then start our backend. All right, so for us to start backend, we need to go ahead and come to Firebase and do some connection. So let's go to Firebase. I'm going to add a new project. I'm going to call it food delivery app. Food delivery app. Okay, so food delivery app. I will say continue, turn off Google Analytics, create project. So for you to have access to your Firebase, just go to firebase.google.com and then click on go to console. Then you will see your own Firebase, and then you start. What do I mean by that? So let's say Firebase, firebase.google.com. Okay, so when you click it like this, you will see this. All right, as far as you're logged in with your Gmail, then you can just click go to console, and then it will bring you to the console. Then you can click to add a project and follow the previous steps that I just followed. So our food delivery application project, Firebase project, is ready. I click on done, and we go inside Firebase. So here we will just click on the settings, click on project settings, and we will copy the project ID here, and we want to come paste it here. But when we paste it and say connect, it's going to pop up an error because we need to give Firebase access to this FlutterFlow product. So we need to come back here and say go to users and permissions, add a member, and say Firebase okay, that's not what I meant. So Firebase add FlutterFlow.io. What I mean is we're giving access to Firebase now, like we're giving Firebase access to our FlutterFlow product. So, and we want Firebase to be an editor. Really cool stuff. So Firebase at FlutterFlow.io, add member. And there you go. We can now go ahead and click and connect, and it's connected. And we can go ahead and then click on this just to do some basic things. Go to next step and say we needed to enable authentication. We needed to be able to create user collection and start building. And then we need to generate configuration files. So generate configuration files. This is more like small tiny bits of files that you need for your product to run smoothly. So for this particular food delivery application, we will start the backend by just doing basic stuff, right? Then we will continue in the next part, all right? So we just want the user to be able to log in and come to this particular section here. So we just want the user to be able to log in and come to the home. And if it's we do some basic logic. So if it is a customer, so the person will just come on board here, and maybe someone who wants to buy food, the person will see here. If the person is actually a seller, the person will have access to these particular paths. So basically that's why I designed this. So so now we're done configuring that. We need to go ahead and do some basic things in our Firebase. So let's go ahead and come to build, click on authentication, click on get started. This is how we give access to users, give access to people to use our application. So we want them to sign in using email and password. Click on enable and click on save. And there you go. We're done setting that up, and we will come here back to build, go to Firebase database. This is where we want to store information inside. So we come here, we will click on create database, click to start in a test mode, right? So yeah, so when you're finally done building your product, you can start in production mode, which requires you to set some, stronger security rules. So start in test mode and enable. Wait for a couple of seconds, and then we will be given full access. Then we will turn on the storage and we will start backend straight. So when we're starting backend, we will start with these. So I will go ahead and click on this field, and it is proper for you to rename your text fields. So this is for name. So go ahead and then just click on this to rename. Let's just say full name. And check. This is going to be email. Email. This is going to be password. So we click on this and say password. Okay, good. And then we're going to click on this and say retype password. Password 2. No, not password 2. Maybe retyped. Okay, so that's the best thing I can think about right now. So, this is for login. No, this is supposed to be sign up. So let's change this and say sign up. Okay, so sign up. Good. We have some errors here. Authpad, project has to do, but entries page is not specified. Okay, so we need to go back here and then specify our entry initial page and our logged in page. So we want the splash screen, splash page 1 to be our entry page. Then we want our home version 2, I think, to be our logged in page. Good. So now that's fine. That error is gone. We will go ahead and come back to Firebase. Our Firestore is created. Let's turn on storage. And that's going to be the last thing we will do for now in Firebase. Then we will end this particular part of the tutorial. So we will click on that, click on done. And okay, so while we are waiting, I wouldn't like this tutorial to be like way long. So we will continue this part in the next tutorial. So we will create this, and create this, and create this, and then start putting things inside the database. It's gonna be really fun. I can't wait. All right, so we will see. This is setting up nicely. The setting up nicely, and let's see, good stuff. All right, so we have our storage turned on, everything is good. So let's now go ahead and then start making things happen. How do we make users to sign up into the application? So what we do is we have renamed this field. Good stuff. What we need to do is give an action to this button. We click here and click on add an action. We will say Firebase authentication. We will say create account. We want our authentication provider to be email, and we want the first email. Oh, this says, yeah, we want this email field to be this one. We want the password field to be this one. And the custom field, we can just click and say password retyped. Okay, so this is it. Then we will go ahead and say, what else? We have one other detail here that has been created, which is full name, and it wasn't captured here, so we will have to just set the field. So that field is going to be the display name. All right, and it's not going to be a specific value, it's going to be from variable. So we click on set and go to widget state and say full name. Yeah, so this is basically where we wanted to get the data from the application to put inside the database in the particular field that says display name. All right, so we are good. So after this, we're done. We've created an account. Our user can create an account. But after creating an account, what next? We want the user to be able to, of course, without even directing the user to where they should go to when they're logged in, they will automatically go to the home page, right? So they will come here. I think we choose, this one. Let me see which one is finer. Anyone is finer, but I think I like any of them. Anyone is good. So I think we sent them to, let's see where we send them to. So home v2. Okay, so when they log in, they go to home v2. But now let's do something. All right, let's go ahead, let's go to that sign up bottom sheets. All right, so sign up bottom sheet. So there's some things that are missing in the design. So let's say if the user doesn't have an account, they should, you know, be able to see something that says sign in. So I'm not really big on redesigning UIs, like, I mean, like all of that. So I would just go ahead and add a row below this and just say let's add a text. Let's add a text. Do you have an account already? Have an account. Have an account already. Okay, so if you have an account already, so I think this is gonna give us I don't know, what is the space around this? I can't really tell. So let's just say 24. Okay, yeah, it worked. So let's click on this and add another text and say this text is gonna be for login. So let's say login. So login, and let's just make these 700, and yeah, that's it. Give it some padding, maybe 4. So then click on this, and I think we could just center align this. So let's come here and remove this padding. Then let's take this, give some padding to these, and say maybe 14. Okay, so do you have an account already? You can log in. So let's click on this and give it an action. So if you click on this, it's going to give you it's going to say bottom sheet, show, select component, login, right? Yes, login. And then let's give the height 700, and I think that's it. So so now that means if they click here, it will take them to login. So login here. So what happens in the login? Let's click here and change the things here too. So the field name, this is going to be the email, and this is going to be the password field. So guys, we're doing fine. Oh, sorry, why did I write field? This is going to be password. So password, and these are a couple of things. We will do this later. So this is login. So let's click on this. You don't have an account, sign up. Let's say let's click it. No, what am I doing? So we're adding an action, add an action. Let's say bottom sheet, let's say show, let's give it 700, and select components, we say sign up, and that's okay. Okay, so we have this, and what else? Let's give an action to this login. So let's say we want it to be Firebase authentication, login, authentication provider, email field, email, password field, password. So it's basically taking the names of the fields. All right, so that's it. So when they log in, they go to that place. Good. Now our user, anybody who creates an account, can create an account and actually log in. But now we need to do something simple before we end the class, just a basic logic. So and we are going to do that logic here. All right, we're going to do that logic here. So let's come here first to the database and add another field. Let's add another field. Let's call it customer. All right, so customer. So this is the person who wants to buy food, so customer, and we are making it a boolean. We want it to be true or false. So this one is going to be seller. We want it to be true or false as well. And this boolean here, and then this, there you go. Okay, so we will add some basic rules here and say let's come here to the button and say open action flow editor. We want to add some logic. So yes, log in, run the authentication scenario and log the user in, but let's add a conditional. All right, so it's just going to be a single condition. So we say single condition. The first value is going to be their authenticated user. Let's say if the person is a seller, right? If the person is a seller, if the user is a seller, that means okay, see, basically we want this to say if the seller's value, right, is equals to, let's say, specific value, and it's true. So if the user that is about logging in, or if the user that you've already logged in, authenticated login, right, is a seller, I want you to do something. All right, so I want you to, that's if it is true, I want you to take that person. So we add another action and say navigate that person to seller dashboard home. All right, that's the idea. So let's say fade and 500. Okay, good stuff. And if it is false, okay, so we didn't even need to say the other person. We would have just said, we would have just used one rule. Okay, so if it is false, so add another action and say navigate that user to home v2. That's it. So we say fade. So this is this, if it is false, that means the person is a customer, wants to buy food, and that's it. So that's like the idea now. So oh, hold on, let's see, what did we do there? So send the person to seller dashboard home. Okay, then send this person to home v2. Yeah, that's it. That's all of it. We didn't even need the other role for, you know, customer and all of that. So we can delete it. We can delete customer field, and then that's it. So guys, we're done with our application. Let's test it and see. Let's go ahead and then run it and then see what we have done. And then in the next tutorial, we are going to work on maybe create a more chef interfaces, and then the chef should be able to add a food item to their, you know, to the application. They should be able to select some things here and add. This is one of the most interesting parts, so you should look forward to the part 5 of this tutorial, which will come up tomorrow. All right, so you will get to see a lot of things about how these things are done, and I'm very sure that you'll be so excited about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and then just wait for these to quickly build, and then we test our application. I really hope that nothing fails, because we have used more than 1 hour for the tutorial, and really good. So if at all you enjoyed this tutorial, please just click on the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it to people you think will, you know, be able to benefit from this, and drop comments from me too. It's always very nice to read your comments. I like it when you tell me something that this is a very good tutorial. I like it like that, because I spend a lot of time trying to understand FlutterFlow. I spend a lot of time trying to use it, just so that I can like be super experienced on these to actually teach you. And that's one of the fun things for me, really. So our application is almost going to finish, and we are going to see how our application runs. So here, if you observe, we don't have any user yet, but after this you will see a user. And then okay, so our application is done running. So this is it. Let's look at how it looks like. Let me change this to 375. Great. I'm waiting. It shows this one, and it takes us here. Great. So we have not created this thing as swiping features yet, so we would just go ahead and say start now. Beautiful. Did you see what just happened? So we want to sign up. So my name is David or Rock, and email. So all right, so let's just test our application. I like what we're doing here. So I give my password, and then I click on sign up. It signs up. It's currently signing up, and it brings me here. Now, do you know why it brought me here? It brought me here because by default, right, that variable for seller is false. So that means this person that is creating an account right now is the, what will I say, is the customer. So we can go ahead and then come here. Let's come to food delivery, and then let's look at our Firebase database. Let's go ahead and just reload this page and see what has happened here. So I'm reloading this, and you will see there's a user collection now, and oh, okay, there's a problem. There's a slight problem. Okay, so let's do something really simple before we wrap it up. Let's come here to home version 2. I'm going to put a temporary logout button. So I'm going to just put a temporary logout button. Yeah, just temporary. So let's go ahead and then add a button here that says, not a button, just a text. I'm just going to use it to be logging out. Okay, so log out. So this is just it's just a temporary stuff. So I want to be able to log the user out. So let's say navigate to, no, let's say Firebase integration logout. So when you log out, I want the user to go back to maybe want the user to be navigated to where they should be navigated to. Well, we would change all of these. Let's say we want them to be navigated to onboarding. Yeah, onboarding one. So let's just send them back there. So let's say fade and 500. Okay, so that's it. All right, so this is done, and now let's correct the problem that we did. Like, look at what is happening. We don't have the field that says seller here in our users collection because we didn't say it should create it. All right, so we have to go to sign up bottom shades and come to the sign up button, click this and say, okay, so we only added this row, which is display name. So if you come here, you see display name is correct, but we need to add another field and say this field is going to be from variable, no, it's not email, we are saying seller, so it's going to be specific value and it's false. So by default we want to make it false. That means we want something to appear. So we will go ahead and then just run it again. That's for sign up, yes, so it's good. All right, so now we have this particular version. So we will just wait for a couple of seconds to do that. Then we will create a new user, and then we will go ahead and be able to change the seller status here, right? So let's just wait for a couple of seconds, and then we will end the tutorial. Meanwhile, thank you for sticking around and enjoying the magic that we are creating together. This is a partnership, guys. It's something that is really beautiful. I'm really proud of it. And let's see, so it's loading up. It shouldn't take a lot of time. It's gonna just like run really fast. All right, so that's it. In the, yeah, we will have the detail here. We can add it. Okay, so guys, let's go ahead and add for this particular user. We can add it and say seller. Yes, we can do that, why not? So we can add it and say boolean, and we say true. Okay, so if we say true, nothing changes here. Nothing changes. It's not gonna change dynamic because that was on authentication basis. All right, so but now this particular user now has a role that says seller true, so good. So while we're waiting for this, let me confirm the spelling of what we did here. So seller, yeah, we did good. So I think this is almost done. Then we check it out and then we end the video. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and like the video as well, because of course it's a good video. So I'll click on this and change it to 375, and I have a logout button now, so I log it out. It brings me here, so I can just, okay, hold on. All right, so I will say start now, and I can click on here to log in. You see how beautiful this thing is? I like it. Okay, so we want to just sign up actually. So we want to sign up another user. The user is going to be David. Okay, great. And this user is going to be, I'm going to use Nocode Africa's email, Nocode Africa HQ. All right, so, and great. Then we click on sign up. All right, so now we're clicking on sign up. We have access to this. So by default, now we have another user. So you see, by default now it is created by itself. Seller is false. So let's go ahead and change one person to true. So this seller is true. That's Mr. David. Let's go ahead and log out, and it brings us here. It does the basic navigation. Let's say start now. Great, we want to log in, so let's say Mr. David rock@gmail.com, password. All right guys, let's log in, and now it brings me to my seller's dashboard. You see, all right, so that's beautiful. This is the buyer's dashboard, that's the customer, and this is the seller's dashboard. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and we will get to see you again in the next tutorial. Stay tuned. All right, thank you very much.